Who's over there? Who is over there? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. And first of all, I want to apologize for being late. Yes. So much of traffic, 45 minutes to the house. According to the Jewish tradition, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Please close. Hare Krishna. Please close the door. Yes. Yeah. According to the Jewish tradition, it is considered a great sin if you keep somebody waiting, because you are taking away from him something which cannot be returned back. So I took away your time and I am not be in a position to return it back. There was a Christian priest, whenever he used to go, he had an appointment with somebody. Somebody had given him an appointment, you meet me at 5 o'clock. So he used to always carry a book with him. And if that person was late, the other person was late, he used to start reading that book. Because he didn't want that other person, by reading the book, he was utilizing his time. So that means the other person didn't get the sin for making him wait. So he always carried a book with him. But today I'm guilty of that sin, so my apologies, first of all, for that. You can help outside for Prashadam. Yesterday I was reading one book, and in this book, this Prabhuji was saying, that this world is a river of names. This world is a river of names. Some people call me Vikrama Baladev Pr. Some people call Vikram Prabhu. Kids can go from that side. Is it better? This is very disturbing. Maybe they can go from that side. So some people call me Vikram Prabhu. In my office, I'm known as Mr. Vishal Puja. At home, I'm known as Vishal. With some of my family members, my old family members, my pet name is Sonu. They call me by that. Nobody calls me by that. It's called me by that for a long time. My grandfather, when we used to go to Vrindavan, my grandfather, he used to call me Nandala. Nandala. Sometimes I'm known as a businessman. So this world is a river of names. I myself, you can see I have so many names. But behind all those names, Prabhujis and Matajis, who am I? Who am I? I'm just a soul on a spiritual journey, trying to find Krishna, trying to find what my goal of life is. So in this river of names, we are in this river of names and we are trying to get to the other side. But surprisingly, the bridge which will take us to the other side is also one name. Is only one name. That is, the bridge is also a name. And what is that name? That is Krishna. That is the bridge which will make us cover this river of names. So today, Prabhujis and Matajis, we are starting a very, very nice section. Since all of you all have been coming to Bhagavad Gita class for so many months, many of you all are here from 1 year. You all are there. Many of them are there for many years. Many people are taking initiative nowadays. Mataji is also here. Many people are taking initiation. But there is something which will change. So we are starting a section which is known as Shikshashtakam. We will do a detailed study in the next 8 classes. There are 8 shlokas of Shikshashtakam. We will do a very detailed study of these 8 verses of Shikshashtakam. So what is special about these Shikshashtakam? It's made up of 2 words, Shiksha, Shiksha and Ashtakam. Shiksha means knowledge and Ashtakam means 8. So Shikshashtakam means 8 verses of knowledge. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he comes, Krishna comes in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 5 years ago, in the form of his devotee. Krishna says, I want to taste the sweetness of a devotee. He comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in Chaitanya Leela, Mahaprabhu's Leela, Mahaprabhu lived in this world for how many years? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived in this world for how many years? 48 years. 48 years. So when we open the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the book about Mahaprabhu, it is divided into 3 parts, right? There is Adi Leela, there is Madhya Leela, and there is Anta Leela. So the first part, the Adi Leela part of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, happens before he took sannyas. Then from the time he took sannyas to the time he went to Puri, Jagannath Puri, and stayed up to the age of 30 is Madhya Leela, and finally is Anta Leela. And the last chapter of Anta Leela is Shri Shikshashtakam. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not write anything. He wrote no books. He gave instructions to so many of his associates, but he wrote no books. He wrote only 8 shlokas, 8 verses, and these verses are the Shikshashtakam. And many acharyas say that why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not write any book? Why did he not write more extensively to cover his philosophy? Why did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not write any books? Because Mahaprabhu said, and the Acharyas say, that Mahaprabhu said, these 8 verses are enough. These 8 verses are enough. The entire sum and bonum of all the Vedic literature. You read the Bhagavad Gita, you read the Bhagavatam, you read Chaitanya Charitamrita. The entire philosophy of all these scriptures, if you were to combine it, it will be in these 8 verses. It will be in these 8 verses. If you see, it is said that as we progress in Krishna Bhakti, as we go up, our Bhakti grows in stages. Our first stage where we all are is known as sadhana bhakti. Sadhana bhakti. We are doing some sadhana, we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are reading, we are trying to get knowledge. Every morning we get up, we do some practice, spiritual practice, known as sadhana bhakti. We are all in the stage of sadhana bhakti. And the topmost stage is prema bhakti. That is like unimaginable. Prema bhakti means the devotee is completely surrendered. We cannot, it is beyond our imagination. Completely surrendered to Krishna. Every breath, the devotee is thinking, talking, feeling Krishna. That is prema bhakti. That is beyond our level of imagination. And between sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti, there is a stage known as bhava bhakti, wherein the devotee is growing in spiritual life. So sadhana bhakti is like, I can say prema bhakti is like a fully blossomed flower. Bhava bhakti is like a bud. And sadhana bhakti is not, the bud is just beginning to form, right? These 8 shlokas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Mahaprabhu takes you, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in each shloka, he will take us from one stage of bhakti to the other and give you a glimpse of what sadhana bhakti means, what bhava bhakti means, and what prema bhakti means, right? So in these next 8 days, 8 classes, we will try and cover all the one shloka per class, and we'll see what Mahaprabhu is giving us this wonderful Shikshashtakam. Many of the devotees here come for morning japa and morning Bhagavatam class, and all the devotees normally, before we start Bhagavatam, we recite the Shikshashtakam. Because of time, and since we have started late today, we will not recite Shikshashtakam, the full Shikshashtakam. We'll just recite the first shloka which we are going to study today. Okay? We'll recite together. Okay? Cheto Darpana Mahajjanu Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtana. The last line of this particular verse, Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtana. So in this one shloka, Mahaprabhu is starting off our spiritual life. He's saying that spiritual life means only one thing. That is the holy name of Krishna. The beginning of spiritual life, as soon as we come into Krishna consciousness, Prabhujis and Matajis, we are all coming for these classes. The first thing the devotees tell you is chant Hare Krishna. So that is the beginning of spiritual life. Chant Hare Krishna. So Mahaprabhu is saying, Param Vijayate, the last line, Param Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam, Param Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. That all victory to the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. So This Nama Sankirtanam, this chanting of Krishna's name, is considered to be the topmost spiritual practice for Kali Yuga. It is also considered to be a sacrifice, a yajna. When we think of yajna, what do we think of? Fire. For us, normally, yajna means fire sacrifice, right? So the acharyas say this first shloka is like a fire sacrifice, where a fire sacrifice has what? Flames, right? So this first shloka also has flames. It is considered to have 7 flames. Seven flames. Because this first shloka, Prabhujis and Mahajis will give you, Mahaprabhu is giving you the 7 benefits of chanting Hare Krishna. We all want to know why we should chant Hare Krishna. What is the great benefit we will get by chanting Hare Krishna? If somebody asks you, Diksha, what is the advantage, what is the benefit of chanting Hare Krishna, how will you reply? No, before that. Otherwise, how will you explain? In a layman's term, I come to you and ask you, Diksha, why are we chanting Hare Krishna?
For me personally, without the Krishna, I see it's like whenever I chant, there is one only I really understand something special that happens.
Why should we chant Hare Krishna, Muttu Arun Ravi?
Purification of body, mind, and soul.
For purification of body, mind, and soul. Ravi Tej Prabhu, why should we chant Hare Krishna? Cleansing. Okay, yes. Cleansing of what? Okay. Anything else? Why we should chant Hare Krishna, Hapuji?
Reducing your sins.
Reducing our
I
sins.
chant Hare Krishna. Mind gets slowly stabilized, like
Controlling the mind.
Consciousness. And all other things get eliminated, the other thoughts.
Yes.
They asked me also.
Today, why should we chant Hare Krishna?
Yes.
I'm asking you also.
But I told what I know. I told.
Please tell the same thing.
Prabhu told the cleansing. It is we are come out from the material desires. First thing. Second one, I told it is not different from Krishna. The holy name of this Kali Yuga is is the remedy is the I told you like that.
Okay. Anybody else? Anything different?
Love
Love of Krishna. Love of Krishna. Okay.
And if we have this kind of practice, when we die, we get Krishna's name.
So if we practice, we can get Krishna's name in our mouth. Yes. All right. But let's see what Mahaprabhu has to say. So Mahaprabhu in this shloka talks about 7 benefits of chanting Hare Krishna. So next time anybody asks you what are the 7 benefits, what are the benefits, you can blindly recite this shloka. Because this shloka covers everything. So the first line, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. What is Cheto Darpana Marjanam? Cheto Darpana Marjanam. What is Cheto? Cheto means Cheto means business or mind or heart, right? Mirror. Cheto Darpana. Darpana means mirror. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Marjanam means what? Clean. Okay. So what is the meaning of Cheto Darpana? Why our mind has to be, why our consciousness has to be clean? Okay, you see, Prabhuji and Mataji, the acharyas say that we have been in this material world for millions and millions of lifetimes. We don't even know how many lifetimes we have been. We cannot even count that many lifetimes we have been in this material world. Now, if you have a mirror in a house which is not cleaned even for a year, it tends to accumulate dust, mud, dust, whatever is there tends to accumulate. Sometimes the dust is so much, it becomes encrusted. It's there on the mirror, patches, right? So our mind is like that. It's here Mahaprabhu is comparing our consciousness, our mind to a mirror. Why a mirror? Because in a mirror is something your mind can help you see as you are, your real nature. But when our mind is covered with dust, we cannot see our real nature. We cannot see whom we really are, right? One Acharya was saying that this dust which is there on the mirror, suppose you have a mirror in your house and there is a lot of dust on it. If you analyze that dust, what will that dust contain?
Small
Particles of all the things which are around here. All the unwanted dust, mud, maybe small insects, maybe so many things. Everything which is around here will accumulate. So this material world, the dust of this material world means, if you see this material world, everywhere there is lust, everywhere there is anger, everywhere there is greed, everywhere there is envy. So that is the dust which we can find on this mirror, not the physical dust. That is okay. What is there in the atmosphere, that itself will be there on the mirror. The mud will be composed of that only, because that is what will accumulate on that. So the dust on our consciousness is the dust of all these unwanted anarthas which are there in this world. And this is very easily there. It's in the air. And it tends to settle on our heart if it is not clean regularly. Anything which is there, any object which is clean, this dust of all these settle on the heart, not just for one lifetime. A mirror, imagine, is being there from millions of lifetimes. How dirty will that mirror be, right? How dirty will that mirror be? So that is the Cheto Darpana Marjanam. But the holy name of Krishna, these two names, Krishna, are so powerful that even if the dust is there from millions of lifetimes, Mahaprabhu is declaring here that it can be cleaned. It can be cleaned by chanting Hare Krishna. Many devotees ask this question. I'm coming from Krishna consciousness from so long, Prabhuji. Still, I'm not feeling that bliss, that happiness of spiritual life. So the question you should ask you really is, how long have you been chanting Hare Krishna? 1 year? Few months? Right? But that dust has been there from how long? Not to say that the holy name cannot clean 1 second, it can. But that depends on how much effort you are putting in chanting. It can in 1 second. One nama is enough, but that depends on how much effort you are putting in chanting Hare Krishna. So Cheto, the first time of chanting Hare Krishna, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. Bhava Mahavagni Nirvapanam. What is Bhava Maha? What does Bhava mean? Bhava means this material. This material world is known as Bhava. Sometimes they call Bhava Sindhu, sometimes they call Bhava Sagara. But in short, this whole material world is like Bhava. And it is said Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam. Mahadavagni, forest fire. It's like a fire, a forest fire. More than that, the reason why this material world is fire is because fire sometimes you don't need any extra agents at all. It's dry enough. If the weather is dry enough, by rubbing each other only will ignite the fire. You don't need a matchstick. Forest fire sometimes don't start with matchstick. Automatically, due to the heat, due to the dryness, it starts. In the same way, in this material world, There is no reason people fight. It's a word of quarrel and hypocrisy. There is no reason people will fight. It is, the world is like that. Bhagavatam declares, for no reason. You look at somebody funnily on the road, they will come and say, why are you looking? Right? You just go next to them, they will look at you oddly. People are waiting to start a fight. As compared to a forest fire. Now, to put on a forest fire, it is not enough that you need like a fire brigade. You may need, even helicopters sometimes try. But actually, what you need is pray for rain. You pray for rain, right? You pray for rain. So, Prabhuji's and Mataji's, the holy name of Krishna is so cooling. It's like the rain cloud, which can put out even a forest fire. And putting out a forest fire means it can put out all this quarrel and hypocrisy of this material world. They say this Nama, the cure for all the diseases of this material world is Nama Kirtan. If everybody in the world were to do Nama Sankirtan, everything in this world will be sorted out. That is the power of Krishna's names. It can cure even the three kleshas, Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, and Adhyatmika. Even that can be cured by the power of Krishna's names. So Mahaprabhu is saying, Cheto Dharpanam Marjanam Bhava Mahadava Nirvakanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. What is Shreya? Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. What is Shreya? You've been chanting in the morning, Shikshashtakam. What is this line you're chanting? Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. Who else has been chanting? Mataji, what is Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam? What is Kairava? Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam. What is Kairava? Kairava, according to the Shastras, is a white lotus. Is a white lotus. And the beauty of this Kairava is that, Prabhuji and Mataji, the beauty of this flower known as Kairava, it's a very rare and extraordinary beautiful flower. It blossoms only in the moon rays. It doesn't need sun rays. It blossoms in the moon rays. So Mahaprabhu is saying, the holy name of Krishna are as cooling as the moon rays. And when those moon rays hit your life, the Kairava flower, the white flower of Shreya, Shreya means auspiciousness, blossoms in your heart. All auspiciousness blossoms, everything becomes Mangala. In your house, in your heart, in your atmosphere, and wherever you go, it's Shreya Kairava, Kairava Vidranam. That is the moon rays of the holy name of Krishna. This white, beautiful Kairava will blossom. It's like all auspiciousness blossoming in your house, in your heart. Everything will be auspicious. You getting the point?
We see that also.
We see that also. We see that also. Yeah, we see that in our lives. After we chant sincerely, our lives become so wonderful, so auspicious. You know, one time Akbar and Birbal, they're very famous stories, so many stories of Akbar and Birbal. So one time Akbar was coming out of his room. He had just taken a bath and he was coming out of his room and he tripped and he fell. And his head hit the railing and it started bleeding. So all his well-wishers, couple of his ministers came and they bandaged him and everything. And anyway, he had fallen, he had tripped, what can you do? So one of his ministers said, Jahapana, this is most inauspicious. How can this happen to you in the morning time? So inauspicious. What did you see when you got up in the morning? What did you see when you got up in the morning? So Akbar said, got up in the morning? No, I just tripped. Let me remember, what did I see? So you see, when I got up in the morning, I remember I just went for a second outside and I saw that washerman, the face of that washerman who was passing by, and he greeted me from far. And he said, he greeted me in the morning and he went away. So the minister says, exactly, that's why you fell. Inauspicious, inauspicious. That man's face is very inauspicious. Very inauspicious. You should sentence him to death. So Akbar also sometimes kings are very temperamental. They also got carried away. Yes, that man, imagine me, the king, getting this in the morning time. It is hurt. What a start to my day. So you sentence that man to death. So they sentenced that man to death. Birbal, as usual, when he got to hear this, he was like flabbergasted. He was like, what is all this? You know? Birbal being Birbal, he had to help that man. So he went to the king and he asked him, what happened, Javana? What happened in the morning? I heard you fell. He said, yes, I fell. And this minister gave me perfect advice. He said, you find out the reason, what you saw in the morning. I saw that washerman. And because of him, I know, because of him, I fell. So I've sentenced him to death. So then Birbal said, my dear Javana, just think for a minute. You saw that washerman in the morning. And you got that hurt. The washerman saw you in the morning and he was sentenced to death. So whose face is more inauspicious? Whose face is more inauspicious? You know, so people have different conceptions of what is auspicious, what is inauspicious. But for a devotee, auspicious means, all auspicious means when this phrase, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, all auspicious means our life are filled with Krishna Bhakti. What more auspiciousness is there? Shreyas Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam. Okay, how many? This is number. How many we finished? How many benefits of chanting Hare Krishna? 3. This is number 4. What is Vidyavadu Jivanam? Vidyavadu Jivanam. Yes. What is Vidyavadu? Vadu means wife. Wife. Bride, whatever. In short, wife. Yeah. Vidyavadu Jivanam. What is Vidyavadu? Why is it? What is Vidyavadu? It is said, Prabhujis and Matajis, that for chanting Hare Krishna, when you chant Hare Krishna, knowledge comes automatically. You see so many acharyas in the Hare Krishna movement, they were illiterate. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, he had never read Bhagavatam, right? Not to say that we should, if we can read and we can understand, definitely we should study the scriptures. But it's said that if you are sincere, just by chanting Hare Krishna, you can get all understanding of transcendental knowledge. It will manifest. It will self-manifest in your heart. Knowledge will self-manifest in your heart. This knowledge is known as Vidyavadu. Vidyavadu. And who's Vidyavadu? If there is a wife, there has to be a husband. There has to be a husband. So Harinam is the husband. Chanting is the husband. Taking Krishna's names is the husband. And the wife is Vidya. Knowledge is the wife of Harinam. Because wherever the husband goes, the wife also follows. Right? Vidyavadu Jivanam. Who is the wife of Vidyavadu? Is the husband. Vidyavadu Jivanam. You getting my point? Vidyavadu is knowledge. Who is the wife? Who is the Hari? Is Harinam. Right? One devotee was saying that Hari Katha is the Swarup Shakti of Harinam. Radharani is the Swarup Shakti of Krishna. Harinam, Hari Katha is the Swarup Shakti of Harinam. Right? Wherever there is Harinam, there is knowledge. Knowledge will come. It will come. If you are sincere in chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna will reveal all the purports of the scriptures in your heart whether you're literate or not literate. It doesn't matter. It is not a qualification. Study is not a study of Gita. Bhagavatam is not a compulsory qualification for Krishna Bhakti. Yes, if you study it, you make rapid progress because you understand we are all educated. But if somebody is uneducated, it does not mean that that person is disqualified from Krishna Bhakti. Imagine somebody doesn't know how to read Bhagavad Gita. Does that mean that person will not go back to Godhead? No. There is no such qualification. It is sincerity and chanting. That is the power of Harinam. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was the striking example. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji was the guru of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. He was illiterate. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj wrote so many books, but his guru was illiterate. Can you imagine a guru who's illiterate, who's never read a book, but he knew all the purports of the Shastras? Why? By hearing. By hearing and by chanting is enough. Harinam is enough to take you back home, back to Godhead. That is the power of Harinam. Vidya Vadu Jivanam. That is what Mahaprabhu is trying to say in this sloka, in this line. It's enough. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. So Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Harinam is full of bliss. It gives so much of bliss if you chant Hare Krishna. Do you know what are the three types of Ananda? What are the three types of Ananda? There are three types of happiness. It is said in the Shastra. Anybody knows three types of happiness? Jadananda or Bhogananda. That is the happiness of this material world. It is known as Bhogananda. Right? Above that is Brahmananda. Brahmananda means what? Happiness in merging with the Supreme, with the Supreme Brahma Jyoti. But above that, there is one more happiness known as Premananda. Happiness in love of Krishna. I have given this example. You remember that example I give every time? Imagine a man. Imagine a man who's young. Okay? Who's young, who's healthy, and who has all the wealth in this material world. A man who's young, healthy, and has all the wealth in this material world. Do you think that man will be happy? No. Just, yes, there is some happiness. A man who's young, healthy, and has all the health, all the wealth in this material world. That happiness, according to the Shastra, is considered to be 1 unit of happiness. 1 unit of happiness. 100 times that is the happiness of the lower demigods. Like you have demigods like Vayu, then you have Varuna, then you have Agni. So they are, 100 times that is the happiness of the Gandharvas. So Gandharvas stay in the heavenly planets. They are a kind of beings. There is a kind of musicians. Their happiness is considered to be 100 times the happiness of this man. 100 times that is the happiness of the lower demigods. Like we have Vayu, Agni, Chandra. Their happiness is 100 times that. 100 times that is the happiness of the higher demigods like Indra. Their happiness is 100 times that. 100 times that is the happiness of Lord Brahma. And 100 times that is the happiness of a person who has achieved Brahma Jyoti, Brahmananda. But the Shastras say that happiness of that person who has achieved Brahma Jyoti is not even a drop compared to the happiness in Krishna Prema. Is not even a drop of happiness in Krishna Prema, love for Krishna. That is the happiness which we all deserve, not this Bhogananda. The topmost happiness in this material world is the happiness between man and woman when they unite. That is considered to be the topmost happiness in this material world, right? When the demigods, they see human beings and they say, that is their happiness. That is, there is one insect. There is one insect, and the male insect and the female insect. The male insect wants to unite with the female insect. Okay? But the moment the male insect finishes uniting with the female insect, the female insect bites his head off and he dies. Okay? The male insect knows that the minute I unite with her, the next minute she is going to bite my head off and I'm going to die. But nevertheless, he does that. He goes, he unites, and the female insect bites his head off. Now, when we see that, what do we say? That is happiness of that insect. So when the demigods, they see our happiness, see, this is happiness. That is the kind of happiness which is there on the material platform. But the happiness in Krishna Prema, and this happiness, Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, which Mahaprabhu is talking about, is that we are actually deserving of that happiness, that Ananda, which is there in Krishna Prema. Which is there in Krishna Prema. Okay? Clear? Pratipadam Purnamrita Swadanam. It is saying, you see the happiness of this material world, sometimes there is happiness, sometimes there is normal, very briefly there is happiness, there is bhoga, tyaga. Bhoga, tyaga. We get bhoga and then okay, then we do bhoga, and we say, okay, give up, it's too much. Right? So there's bhoga, we get some happiness for some time. So there are gaps in that happiness. It's not that we are happy all the time. We get happiness for some time, some bhoga, some bhoga, some bhoga. Then there's a gap, some more. Then there's a gap, then some more. But yeah, Mahaprabhu is saying, Pratipadam, gapless, no gaps. Pratipadam Purnamrita Swati. Not just little happiness. That happiness which is non-stop happiness. When you chant Hare Krishna sincerely, Prabhujis and Matajis, you are actually supposed to get non-stop happiness. That is the happiness which we are looking for. So how many up? 6. Last. Sorry. Yeah, Satchidanandan is a different concept. That's a different description of the Lord. Lord is Satchidananda. Of course, part of that is Ananda, but Sat is also truth. Yeah, so that is a different concept. Here we are talking only of Ananda. Sarvatma Snapanam. What is the last Sarvatma Snapanam? That means the soul, Snapanam means taking a bath. Sarvatma, that this happiness is for everyone, not just for a limited number of people. Whoever chants Hare Krishna, Sarvatma, whoever chants gets this benefit. Sarvatma Snapanam. Snapanam means taking a bath. It is like the soul is taking a bath. Every time you chant Hare Krishna, it is like taking. How many of you all feel the day you have not chanted Hare Krishna, something is seriously wrong? We all feel that. It looks we're not taking a bath. Worse than that, it's like we are just not there. How is it? It's just not there that day. It's not like not yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. We'll come to that. Yeah. Fish out of water. It's like a fish out of water. Something is wrong. So how you feel when you take a bath? Fresh, right? You feel rejuvenated. You feel fresh, energized. So the holy name is like that. Sarvatma, for everyone, Snapanam, is like gives you a refreshing, you're refreshed, you're just rejuvenated in your thoughts, in your minds, in your activities. So these are the 7 benefits Mahaprabhu is laying down for chanting Hare Krishna. It covers everything. It covers everything. So next time somebody asks you what are the benefits of chanting Hare Krishna, you should just blindly recite this words. You see, Mahaprabhu is very intelligent. The first shloka of Shikshashtakam, he's telling us the benefits of chanting Hare Krishna. When an advertiser wants to put an ad in the TV or a paper, will he tell you the price first or will he tell you the benefits first? The benefits, right? What if he says you go and the price of this is 500 rupees, and then you think, okay, but without telling you the benefits, this product is 500 rupees. First, you want to know what are the benefits, right? What are the benefits of? So Mahaprabhu is making it very, very clear. Benefits. These are the benefits you will get as a starting stage of Krishna Bhakti. He's saying in the first shloka, these are the benefits you will get. And then Srila Prabhupada comes and puts the MRP sticker. The price is 16 rounds of Hare Krishna. That is the price. Minimum. That is the MRP sticker. 16 rounds. These are the benefits. This is the product. And I'm Mahaprabhu and Prabhupada comes and puts the MRP sticker. That this is 16 rounds of minimum. Not just is 16 rounds minimum we should chant. Not 16 rounds we should chant. 16 rounds is minimum.
That means 118 to
Yes. 16 rounds minimum to get the benefit. And that is what Mahaprabhu is telling us. You see, Prabhujis, I was talking to Soumya Mataji. There is a price. There's another word which is very close to price called prize. So if you want to pay the price, you want to get the prize, you have to pay the price. Right? So these two words are very close to each other. So it's okay.
Be concentrating on.
Now, how should we chant Hare Krishna? That's a very, very important question. So we have laid down the product. We have laid down the price of that product. It is very important, Prabhujis and Matajis, to give our time. Lord Krishna is asking you for only one thing. He's asking you for your time. Right? You need to allocate a certain amount of time for chanting Hare Krishna. Krishna has given us 24 hours. Right? Now we have to allocate that time for certain things. Mahaprabhu is making it very clear. Chanting Hare Krishna has these benefits. Now you have to allocate that time. But is it enough only to allocate time? Is it enough only to allocate time? Yes. What?
Thoughtful consciousness.
You have to allocate your presence. You have to give your presence. Right? Not just your time. And finally, not just your presence. You have to give your heart. You have to give your heart to chanting. See, Prabhujis and Matajis, I remember when I had gone to a friend's house. A friend of mine had invited me once. He gave me his time. He told me, come to my house. We'll talk, whatever. He invited me. I went to his house. One day, he was not even there. He was not even there. So first, he gave me time, but he didn't give me time. Another time, I went to a friend's house. I went to his house. I'm sitting with him, but he's on the phone. He's talking to 50 people. And I'm wondering, why am I there? What's the point? He's there. He's physically there, but he's not there. He's there, but not there. He's on the phone. He's talking. And I'm thinking, he's invited me or he's what he's done. Right? When you take Krishna as non-different from Krishna's name, he's there with you that minute. Right? But your mind is here and there. Then Krishna is thinking, why have I come? What's the point of me being here? Because Krishna's name is so powerful that immediately when you say Krishna, Krishna is there. Because the name Krishna is non-different from Krishna. We're chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna. So Krishna is there. In every name he is there. But then we are not there. Our mind is not there. Right? And finally, if that same friend, if he's given you time, he's given his presence, and he's giving his heart to you, he's talking from his heart, then that is a good invitation. That's a perfect invitation. Yes, he called me, he was there, and he shared his heart, right? That's a good invitation because all three is there. Time is there, right? Most of the times, including me, and I have to confess, most of the times, our chanting, okay, we are chanting Hare Krishna. We just breeze through that chanting. It's a nice background. It's going on. आपका कैसा गबरा भैया हो जाता है जपा जपा हो जाता है कैसे हो जाता है we are just breezing through कर देते हैं हम किसी भी तरह कर देते हैं how's your japa going it's going it's fine we're doing 16 rounds right we just breeze through that japa and that 16 rounds is over then we put it back in the bag and that feeling as soon as we do one round the countdown begins. The countdown begins. 8 more to go, 7 more to go. It's like telling your guest 10, 15, 13, 15 minutes more to go for you. 40 minutes more to go for you. 30 minutes more to go for you. How that person feels. That's the way we chant. And I chant. Sorry, not we. I chant. I chant. That's the way I chant. I chant like that. We count down. Count down. So sometimes devotees say, some days you should chant much. You should, on special days, if you can, chant 32 rounds, 1 or 2 days in a month when you're free. Because you see, when you chant 32 rounds, you'll not count 31 rounds more. It's so far away. At least let's chant. We'll see the numbers later. Correct? No? Agreed or no? Right? When you chant, suppose you pick a vrata to chant 64 rounds. You're not going to count 63 more, 60. That itself is intimidating. You say, okay, let's chant and we'll see how it goes. So it is advisable that some days when you are in the mood, chant 32 rounds. One day, once in a month or something like that. Then you feel, then next time when you chant 8 rounds, 10 rounds, there's nothing. Then you focus. Otherwise, it seems just too far away, right? But 16 rounds for devotees in this room who are here from 1 year or more, you will have to target and come to 16 rounds. There is no exception. Because in this age, there is no other way. Kalau naste, 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 gatir anyata. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way other than chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. There is no other way. That is the only bridge we can use to chant. And why? There's so many benefits. It's not a tedious, just think. That's why we chant Shikshashtakam in the morning to remind us of these benefits. So many benefits, 7 benefits we are getting. Why not chant? See, anyway, you're giving 1.5 hours. Anyway, you're giving 1.5 hours of your time or 2 hours. Right? 1.5 to 2 hours. You're giving. Give it properly. Anyway, you're giving. Give it well. Right? And it's not that Prabhujis and Matajis that only in our initial stages in our Krishna Bhakti we are doing, it is said, it's not that only when we are chanting Hare, only in the initial days of our Krishna consciousness we are chanting Hare Krishna. No, no, no. Hare Krishna, the Maha Mantra is a prayer and it is also the answer to that prayer. The benefit of chanting Hare Krishna is so that you can chant more Hare Krishna. The prayer means, the main reason why we are chanting Hare Krishna now is so that in the future we can chant better Hare Krishna. There is nothing else. In Golok Vrindavan, the gopis are chanting Hare Krishna. Right? The acharyas, they are chanting Hare Krishna. But there's a difference between their chanting and our chanting. There was a young widow. She had one son. A young widow, she had one son. And this son she wanted to educate somehow or the other. So she had no source of income. Her husband had died. But the son she wanted to educate very well. So she took up a lot of odd jobs. She worked here, there, she collected money, and she appointed a tutor for him. That this son of mine, whatever it is, he's my ray of hope. I will make him study very well. So he appointed a tutor, paid 3,000, 4,000. And this tutor used to come every day and teach this son. One day, this tutor is teaching the son. And she hears, let me see, she's sitting in the other room. What is he teaching? So the tutor is saying, A square is equal to B square plus C square. A square is equal to B. What is he teaching him? She goes up to the tutor and he says, you're teaching him ABC? He learned this in the first standard. Now you're still teaching him ABC, and no, I don't want this tutor. Get out from here. She throws him out. Right? What she could not understand was that this was not ABC. It was A square is equal to B. He was 8th standard. It was algebra. B square plus C square. It sounded like ABC, but actually it's a much higher level. In the same way, even when you go to 12th standard, you do calculus. There also you go sine A, B, C, X, Y. They're all the same, but it's higher. So we are chanting Hare Krishna, it's ABC. The Acharyas are chanting Hare Krishna, A square is equal to B square plus C square. And even in the spiritual world, they are chanting Hare Krishna. It's not that we are chanting Hare Krishna, but their chanting of Hare Krishna is filled with realizations. It is said that Nam, Guna, Roop and Leela. From Nam comes the qualities. Everything comes from Nama. Everything is Nama. From Nam comes Guna. From hearing the name of Krishna sincerely, we can understand the qualities of Krishna. By hearing the names of Krishna sincerely, we can get the Leelas of Krishna. Leela Smaranam. We can see the form of Krishna. Eventually, one day, that is not our objective. It comes automatically, Those are things which will come. But this Nama is the password which will unlock Guna, Roop and Leela. Otherwise, you will hear the pastimes of Krishna and you will be bewildered. How Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill. You will be wondering. But when you chant sincerely, this will not even be a wonder. You will not have any doubt. You will not have any doubt. So these are the benefits of chanting Hare Krishna. I think we'll just a couple of points I want to make more. This is as I said, chanting Hare Krishna is not a prayer. It's the answer to your prayer. The devotee prays.
Suppose we are in 23 standard. So another fellow is already in 8th standard. So we will also go to that level even after.
If you chant sincerely.
Next level also.
Yeah, if you chant, see what happens in next life, we don't know, Prabhuji. That is not up to us. We are not speculating. We don't know anything. We leave it to Krishna. We don't get into those. See where will I go in my next life? What will happen to me? Am I going to Golok Vrindavan or am I going to stay in this material world? These are all matters left to Krishna to decide. We are his servant. Where the master sends you is irrelevant. The idea is you should be a perfect servant. If the master sends you there, go there. If the master says be here, be here. What if Krishna doesn't want you to come back to Golok Vrindavan? He tells you, okay, you be in this material world and preach. Can we say no? That's what he wants. So we don't pray that we want to go to Golok Vrindavan. That is not our prayer. Never pray for that. That is up to Krishna. We pray for service. Please give me your service. That is up to Krishna. You see, when Prabhupada went to America, he went on the Jaladuta ship, right? He went on the Jaladuta ship. On that ship, he wrote a beautiful poem. That poem was known as Markine Bhagavad Dharma. On that ship, the journey took 38 days to go to America. He wrote a poem known as Markine Bhagavad Dharma, means preaching in the West. And the last line of that poem, Prabhupada writes, he says, Bhakti nahi, bhedi nahi, bhakti nahi, bhedi nahi, khub naam daro. What did he say? Bhakti nahi, bhedi nahi, khub naam dharo. Bhakti Vedanta naam eva sarthak karo. So what is Prabhupada saying? So Prabhupada is saying when he's on that boat to Jagadguru, to America, he's saying, I have no bhakti. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, I have no bhakti. Bhedi nahi, I have no knowledge. Bhakti nahi, bhedi nahi, khub naam daro. But I have faith in the holy name of Krishna. That is enough. So Prabhuji's and the Mataji's Hare Krishna. Every day in the morning, can we get up in the mirror and can we say, when we look in the mirror, can we say we have bhakti? Bhakti nahi. We must look in the mirror and we must say we have no bhakti. Can we say that we have knowledge? I don't think so. I don't think. Maybe having little understanding of scripture. Bhedi nahi. So we must look in the mirror and we say, Bhedi vi nahi. But we have one thing. Faith, khuba namadar. That we have this one faith, that this naam, this name of Krishna will help me cross the river of names. All this, it will help me cross all this. And that is enough. That is enough. I'll just end by telling you a small pastime. Time up. I have many more things to say. Maybe I'll share it next time. A man was going on a street. He was going on a street. And he saw one most unusual sight. He saw two men. They were digging the road. They were digging the road. So one man was digging and removing the soil. Another man was taking that soil back and putting it back in the same place, in that same hole. So one man was digging, other man was putting. What was he doing? Digging the soil with a spade. Other man was putting back the soil. So he said, maybe I didn't pay attention. After 1 hour, 2 hours, he comes back and he says the same thing. They're continuing. One man is digging the soil and one man is putting back the soil. So he went and asked him, what are you doing? You're digging the soil, he's putting back the soil. That's most unusual. Net result is 0. You're digging, he's putting back the same soil. So he says, actually, there were 3 of us today. I'm supposed to dig. The middle man is supposed to put the seed. And the third man is supposed to put the mud back. But the middle man is absent today. So I'm continuing to do my work. See, the contractor said, do your work. So I'm doing my work. So Prabhuji's and Mataji's, are we chanting like that? We are chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Ram, digging the mud, putting back the mud. But are we putting the seed of our consciousness? So when we chant Hare Krishna, how should we think? We should actually, in our heart, Prabhuji's and Mataji's, we should be desperate for Krishna's mercy. Prabhupada used to say that you should chant like a child cries for the mother. We hear so many classes that we are not from this material world. Somehow or the other we are here. That desperation, that crying out should be there. Mother Gaurang Prabhu says there should be pain in your chanting. That 1 hour you're giving the full focus on the holy name and that full mood that we are here, Prabhu Krishna, we have come in this, but please help me, please save me. That is the seed we should put in our chanting. Please engage me in your service. Please engage me in your service. Please help me grow in Krishna Bhakti. That is the seed. Otherwise, it is just that. Putting, going. No seed. That's not what we want. Plant the seed in your chanting. That is real chanting. Then the 7 benefits will manifest. There's no seed only. Where the plant will come. No? So this first shloka of Shikshashtakam is giving us a glimpse of that. Like that, now we will discover the other 7 shlokas in the next classes. Thank you very much. I hope, I pray that our prayers to Krishna be Krishna. I have so many devotees, I wish them happy birthday. I call them, and many devotees, they tell me, Prabhuji, I ask Prabhu, what should I pray for you? And many devotees, they say, Prabhuji, please pray that my chanting improves. That is the only prayer. They don't pray, they don't ask anything. They can say anything. But what they ask, Prabhuji, please pray that my chanting improves. And we should also pray like that our chanting should improve. Our chanting should improve. Because that is the only way we have. No other way. It is our process. There's no other way. So please pray for me that my chanting improves. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama. I request you to keep these speech very neatly. And I request you, all of your next class,